All right. Well, hey, again, everybody, welcome to Franchise Mode. I got two of my closest friends on here. It's our first time going live. We're going to make sure we're recording this and everything so we can repost it and everything. But we wanted to try out all the live and all the features that we can do. So, I mean, again, y'all can introduce yourselves now. You can start.
I'm Ronell. From DC. Diehard Cowboys fan.
Well, you ain't got, I mean, like I'm Nail. I like this team. Like, you ain't got to give the class, Jank, but
The class? I ain't give a class.
like,
College.
huh?
I ain't do that.
First day of college intro.
I said I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. Come on, man. I got to represent.
All right, Tay. Oh, Ak Moses is on this podcast.
You know, Baltimore Ravens fan. You know, Cowboy hater.
for sure, Neil. Right?
Yeah, all day.
All right, so we're gonna start with some NFL stuff. All right, so we just had the Bucks game, Bucks Rams. I know everybody's on that's fresh on everybody's mind. What did y'all see from Stafford and Brady? What is y'all first reaction about that?
Offense struggling, defense playing decent, but you know, offense definitely struggling. Brady, this should be his last year probably. He got to stop after this.
Well, I mean, he already lost the marriage. He might as well keep it going.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point, you might as well keep it going.
Might as well go ahead and everything else up. But yeah, it was just it was a cool game, but it wasn't really what I'm used to from seeing. That I'm used to seeing from the Rams and Bucks.
I feel like Brady's not allowed to make mistakes because his offense makes so many mistakes.
Yeah,
like when he makes a mistake, it's like, oh, Tom Brady might as well retire. But it's mainly not him though. But they had like 6 drops today. Scotty Miller had a touchdown in his hands today. Of course they scored after that, I think. But it was just like y'all just dropping passes. Mike Evans dropped like 2 passes. Like what is going on?
He's in my fantasy team now.
The defense is decent. They kept the Rams to 13. I mean, the Rams are not a powerhouse, but they still kept the Rams to 13. Vita Vea is great on that defensive line.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a
bullet.
It's that offense.
He's a big boy for sure. He's a big boy. He's one of them boys.
Offense, though, it's just not looking good for them. I don't see them. If they do make the playoffs, I don't see them going far at all.
Yeah, I mean, again, Brady's already lost the marriage. I think he should probably retire too. But literally at this point, you have to. He at this point he has to be like a little petty. He has to just give it another year, because at this point I've already lost so much shit for doing this 1 year. I might as well just maybe do another year. I'm just thinking it maybe might not be on the Bucks. Now the Dolphins did try to give him before. Two was having 2 good of a season. They're not going to just pick up Brady now. It's too late. But I don't know who some team that needs a quarterback is like, we'll give Brady a shot for 1 year, maybe. But he seemed like he might just be done with Tampa right now.
I feel one thing I have to say though, we don't know that they divorced because he played football again. That's just a speculation that the fans are making the TV pot.
This is true. This is true.
That's what everyone is making, but we don't know that. So if he did retire, I don't think it's like, oh, you lost your wife and you lost your career. I feel like if you retire, it was his time. Like,
come on now, you know how women are. What you think? What you think the reason is?
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like I turned on the TV yesterday. I'm watching the World Series, and Verlander got Kate Upton as his wife, another famous woman. I think she's a country singer. He's 39. He's winning Cy Young, and his wife's like, "Oh, I want him to keep playing." Yeah, Brady's like, like this has to be annoying. Like it has to be to see that. It got to be annoying to see that.
Yeah.
But then Stafford though, he was 47% passing today. Like that was his completion percentage. That ain't gonna get it done. Like the O line is it's probably the worst in the league. The Rams offense came in as the 32nd offense in the league, so they're the worst offense overall. It seemed like he completed 12 passes, 8 of them were to Cup. So essentially, it wasn't to Cup, it was a bad play.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like the Rams win the Super Bowl, and everybody's like, well, you should go all in. But this could be what happens. We're gonna talk about the NBA later with the Lakers, and you go all in, it gets ugly towards the back end. So the Rams, this might just be a lost year because does anybody in here see the Rams making the playoffs?
Nah, not with that left guard. I can tell you that right now. That right now.
Man,
I
like
feel like if it's not Cup, it's a L. Like if Cup's not having a 200-yard, 2-touchdown game, they're going to lose, and that's just not a good recipe because nobody can sustain that. Like no
yeah,
one can sustain that every week. It's just like that's a lot of wear and tear, and nobody's just that good to get open every game to score that much. But I don't know. I feel like Stafford is just he had a good first year in LA, but now it's just like he's back to the
yeah,
old Stafford. Like it was like a fresh start.
yeah. It was, and then it's like Cam Akers. Like I don't think I drafted him on fantasy this year. I was really close. I wanted to draft him. He definitely was drafted by somebody.
Yeah.
So it's like they tried to trade him. They said absolutely no one in the league was like, yeah, we're not even going to take him on for a 7th-round pick. So I don't even know like what happened to Cam Akers. I thought he was a good player. He tore his Achilles. He came back in the Super Bowl. I thought he looked decent. So like they also can't run the ball either. So the Rams, it's looking, in my words, clip. Like I think they're clip. Like I just can't see them going moving any forward. But okay, I want to move to another game now. So we have Bears Dolphins. I thought one of the most exciting games if we saw red zone or just anything in the first window. The score was 35-32. Just tell you, so what did you think? Justin Fields, and I think if I'm not mistaken, broke the rushing record for a quarterback at 178 rushing yards. He broke Vic's record.
He looked good. Not better than Lamar, but he looked good. He looked good. I mean, I guess he was making some good decisions, when he pulled the ball down. Definitely making some good decisions. But he overall, I mean, that was like one of the, the best, games I've seen today, probably. I mean, very competitive. Dolphins look good. I mean, Tua is definitely I seen the thing, it was like if he didn't miss those 3 games, he'd definitely be in the MVP talks. But he definitely good. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, they're a problem for sure.
That's a problem right there. You got 2 guys that's the fastest player on the field every time they're on the field. Yeah. Like, man, now.
I think Justin Jefferson. I mean, I'm sorry, Justin Fields.
Oh, Justin Fields.
I feel like he's a great quarterback, but he's going to need a year or 2 before he's going to show up. Like he needs more pieces. The Bears are just not. They're not there yet. But he's a great quarterback. He's showing flashes. That's what you want in a young guy. And I think the Dolphins they're just great. When they lost Tua, it looked a little shaky, but then they got Tua back, and it was just like, okay, they're back. They're back to being that good team. But yeah, Justin Fields scared me last week against the Cowboys. Like it was a flash. It's like I was just like, oh, okay, we're good. And it scared me the week before when they played. Who did they play? They played before the Cowboys. I don't know, but they definitely showed out. And Justin Fields he amazes me every time he plays his running skills.
Yeah, he's full runner,
if not better.
Yeah, I mean, Neil, you had a fan in the chat though. I wanted to make sure I pinned the comment. I mean, I had to put it on the screen. Neil had a fan that in the chat. I mean,
come on, that was for all of us. That was for all of us. But
what's going on there?
Hey, but like I was saying, I feel like he's looking like he's going to be a great runner, a great dual threat quarterback. The same, if not better than Lamar. No, I'm just kidding. But he's on that level. Like he's doing good. He's looking like he's gonna get up there.
Yeah, I mean, Fields is good. Like you said, the Cowboys game, I think he played pretty good. I mean, they scored the most points. I think anything that's scored on us all season. I mean, you can say we beat them by 20 points, yeah, but overall, still no one scored that many points in the Cowboys defense, which I think is a really elite defense. So I think he played good last week. He played good the week before that. So I said, let me pick him up a fantasy football, and hereby I damn near might get me a win this week. He scored 42 points on fantasy. Everybody else on my team played really bad. I think I had like maybe 1 or 2 other good players. Overall, he essentially carried me to a win this week. Like he's been playing so much better every week, and the team really is really trash. This is a number one pick type team if he like isn't playing. Like they got Claypool, who I think played a little bit today, limited snaps. I like Mooney. I think he's a good player, but in the day he's like, what is he, like a number 2, number 3 receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery's okay. And the defense is decent, but like they're not an elite unit. Not, I guess Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle made them probably look worse today because, come on, Tyreek Hill leads the league in receiving yards, so he's been pretty good against every defense. But
I have a question for Marcus Spears. I mean, Ak Moses. How far do you think he is from Lamar Jackson?
Who?
Justin Fields.
I mean, comparable, but let me just say, he just don't have that finesse like Lamar Jackson. You feel me? Like,
hey,
he's a good runner, but he just don't have that finesse. But he's close. I mean, definitely got like a
Lamar's just the fastest though. I would say Fields fast though. I ain't like the game fast, but Lamar's probably what Lamar got to be. He ain't no Tyreek Hill, but for a quarterback, he's the Tyreek Hill of quarterbacks in that way.
Yeah, he's also like he's the elusive. Like
he's elusive. Like
he can. His vision is crazy.
Yeah, but how many yards he had today on the ground?
He had 178, which is the record. He broke Vic's record.
Yeah.
Vic had the record before that.
Yeah, he's definitely good, but that 178 on the ground is ridiculous. That's like some college.
I don't like, for one, that's crazy that he broke the record. Like, I don't even think he did run the ball 15 times, but that's 15. That means he averaged basically 12 yards every time he touched the ball, every time he ran the ball.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like for a whole game, and I didn't really. Well, I guess Lamar too. Like they're not like the RG3s. They don't be getting just like hit crazy hard. No, pause, but I'm saying like they don't be taking a wild sideline, sideline Jay. So I think even though he's running, like I didn't really see him, do anything too crazy where it scared me.
Yeah,
like Josh Allen, he scares me sometimes. Like I love it, like the way it looks. But like 5 years from now, it might come back to. Might come back to bite him a little bit.
Be taking some hits.
So, but then Tua was good today too. Tua had 302 yards. He had 10 yards per attempt. And every time he threw the ball, incompletion, no completion, it still averaged out to 10 yards per throw. He had 3 touchdowns, no pick. He had the highest passer rating on the day. And Tyreek Hill had 143 yards, and he averaged 20 yards a catch. Waddle had 85 yards, 17 yards a catch. So the Dolphins, realistically, I think the Dolphins can upset someone in the playoffs. I don't know if it's going to be the Bills, the Chiefs. Probably not one of those teams, but I would not be shocked if the Bills upset one of the top 2 teams in the AFC. What do y'all think about that?
Definitely the Bills. I think they can upset the Bills for sure.
Well, they already did.
Yeah, they did beat them in the regular season for sure. They got the weapons. It's gonna be hard for the team not to score 30 points. Maybe in Buffalo in the playoff because it is January in upstate New York. It's gonna be you ain't gonna be just throwing the ball, up and down the field. But still
crazy. 17, 20 yards a catch.
Yeah, like 2 guys, same game.
Like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna try a new feature, everybody. We're gonna try the present feature. Let me see if I can.
Talk about Baltimore.
Yeah.
The Saints ain't ready.
Yeah. All right. We got this. So now.
Come on, cover girls. It's time to turn it up. Exhibitionist stretch and strengthen mascara.
Where is that?
Lash extension effect.
My bad, y'all. They trying to copyright your boy. They tried to copyright me. But all right, so I want to find another fun 1 or 2 games. Let's actually do the Thursday night game. So we got Eagles, Texans. I thought it started off really slow and boring. Regardless, the Eagles somehow win this game by more than 10 points. It didn't feel like that watching the game, but the Eagles ended up winning the game by more than 10 points. Hurt seemed like he had another good game, I would say. The Eagles are still the only undefeated team. We got to think. Tay, I'm gonna let you start since you have a team. You've seen a similar type team with a running quarterback, good defense, and you see I guess how that can transpire. What is your take on the Eagles?
I feel like Jalen Hurts is definitely a true dual threat. He can pull it down and run. He can throw it through the air. His receivers are crazy. He got what's his name, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Tight ends, crazy. I think their defense played good too this past Thursday. But I had my eye on Goddard the whole game, and he definitely, as you can see, what is that?
He ate
Oh,
for 100.
yeah, 8 for 100 with a touchdown. So they can definitely go places with that record. And now in the Eagles, they might choke in the playoffs or something like that. But I feel like they can go somewhere.
Yeah,
They
Eagles
might not
fans
go to
right
the Super
now.
Bowl, but Commanders is not beating the Eagles. I don't know what
The
these
Commanders
Commanders.
is not beating the Eagles.
That
The Commanders is not.
Commanders
Well, I guess it is a divisional game. I guess it could be upset because it is
they
division.
cannot beat the Eagles.
But nah.
They didn't even beat the Vikings.
Yeah, Troy Talks, to be specific, said that's the Commanders championship game. He said they win that, they're essentially good for the season after that game.
That's like playing little kids. Come on now.
Hey,
I think the Eagles are frauds.
You
I'm
think so?
just about to say it.
You think so?
I think they're fraud. I think they haven't played anyone. They played the Cowboys, but they played the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. They played them with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush had a bad game. He threw 3 picks, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 or 3 picks.
So let's not act like they played good teams. Of course the Cowboys haven't played too much of anybody either, but they've shown flashes. I feel like the Eagles, their games seem too easy to me. AJ Brown is open every
he's crazy. He's insane.
Jalen Hurts is just throwing it up to AJ Brown. He's just manhandling corners. I feel like they aren't going to do anything in the playoffs if they play a good team. I think the Vikings could beat the Eagles. I think the Cowboys can beat the Vikings. I think
I'm not.
49ers, maybe. I think the 49ers got a shot. I like the 49ers. I mean,
49ers have a shot. They have a good defense. They have Christian McCaffrey added. They look way better. I think they're fraud. I don't think they're a true number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, go ahead, Tay. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so with the Eagles, like I think before the season started, I said the Cowboys win the division. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore, personally, because the Eagles just have like a lead on us. It's gonna be tough. No. But I said regardless, the Eagles have the better roster. The gap was going to be between Dak and Hurts. Now, since Hurts is, I think, closing the gap, I don't think he's better than Dak, in my opinion. Some people probably, I think he is probably the MVP of the season right now. I'm pretty sure he'll win it, but I just don't think right now he's still a better player, at least not yet. But again, the Eagles still have a great roster. Like they drafted pretty good this year. I was absolutely pissed when they got AJ Brown because we were doing a draft show, and that's when the trade came in. Very upset. He's been really good for them, so they do have that going for them. And the defense, like they got Slay and Bradbury. Somebody kind of like the cornerbacks have been kind of clamping up on the outside. So I'm interested to see, as a Cowboys fan, I don't think the Cowboys should feel like you can't beat this team. Like they've shown you nothing to be scared of, though. Like now, that doesn't mean you're better than them or not, but I wouldn't go in that game feeling nervous. Like they beat you, I think, by 11 with Rush, and he threw 3 picks. And Hurts really didn't play as good as he's played all season that game. I just wouldn't be nervous. Now, the Cowboys do play the Eagles on Christmas Eve, so the day after my birthday. So if I get a birthday wish while in Canada, I'm going to wish the Cowboys beat the Eagles.
If you get some birthday money, let's bet on it.
I think the game in Dallas. I think it is in Dallas.
Yeah, we played in Philly the first game.
Yeah, I'm going to revisit this. I'm going to revisit this at the time. We're going to have some cases to do on this. So okay. Then so this was some more NFL topics I had. I wanted to do some. Let me pull up. I had a receivers list. This receiver, I feel like I've been saying it for the longest time. I think it's the hardest position to know this person is better than that guy. So we just got just a receiver list. Like if I want you all just to name not even your top 5, it's your top 3 receivers. I think it's really tough. So now, if you could say these are my top 3 receivers, you can pull up your phone up the stats if you want to while I'm talking. Just think about who is your top 3 receivers. It could be Devontae Adams, Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins is back, AJ Brown, Cup, Ja'Marr Chase. It's a lot of guys that are really good.
I don't even have to put up any stats. I'm just going to go off the top.
Okay.
I like D-Hop. I'm going for number 1. He missed some time, but I feel like he's still D-Hop.
He's still good.
Number 2, I'm definitely gonna go with Jamar Chase. He just shows me that he's a pure number 1. No one has stopped him. No one can stop him. And then number 3, Justin Jefferson, another young guy who hasn't shown that he's just unstoppable. He has slowed down on. Well, he hasn't produced that many touchdowns, but with yards and catches, he's
there. He's there.
Yeah.
Say?
I'm going Reek, Speed,
Yeah.
Kill. Then I'm going hometown hero Stephon Diggs.
Diggs has been good.
And then I'm going, I think Devontae Adams. I'm going with Devontae Adams, my third. Only because, like, I don't know, they just when you see them play, like, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like who can stop them? I haven't seen.
Yeah. I think this is just so. I feel like receivers. This has to be because like there's like 10 guys I think are like worthy of like a spot
for sure.
But, like I think if I just want to go like okay, established 100%, I feel like Devontae Adams has to be on my list. I just think he's just too established. Like he was my number one receiver last year. I don't really think he's done anything to not be it this year. I guess you could say other guys have like overtaken him. But he hasn't like done anything. Like even today, he had 80 yards in the first quarter and a touchdown, or 2 touchdowns. But then I have to my second. I'd probably go Chase. I feel like that's pretty. I'm pretty biased on Chase. I've been kind of on it for the longest time, and I'm very open about it. So I just think he's a really good player. I just think the way you guard him is he's like Curry in basketball. Him and my next guy, I like that. Where you just even if they're not scoring points, like they just affect the offense so much. Like you got to put a safety over him. He's just a tough guard. He can run routes. He had that little weird drop problem early on. That was I don't know why people are overblowing that. I'm glad that's passed. I think he's a good player. But then my third, I want to actually, oh damn, I was going to pick him, but I think I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna go with Hill. Jefferson is definitely my fourth, and people can argue that he's the best. So this tells you how good it can be. But I'm gonna say Hill one because he leads the league in receiving yards. Like he deserves his credit here. He leads the league in receiving yards. He's 2 as his quarterback. I'm not saying 2 is a bum or anything, but every single game I see him get underthrown at least what you say 1 or 2 times on the Twitter highlights. I'm like, oh, that's actually a touchdown that he mossed the guy to catch. And he still got the yards, but like he could have got even more yards. Like he has 1,000 yards on the season. He's averaging 120 yards per game before today. He had more than that today, so that's going to go up. So he's going to he averages over 120 yards per game. He scored 3 times on the season. I think he's showing out, and I feel like now that Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill argument just looks dumb because both of them are just going to be elite players. Period. It's not like one guy made the next guy like they're both just A pluses, bro. It's possible.
It definitely wasn't like Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I'll tell you that much.
The way Rodgers is a little old. I can't get Rodgers. Rodgers kind of a little old, and he ain't got nobody else. But
one guy's struggling, one guy.
One guy
doing the greatest, but he's still producing.
Yeah.
And Green Bay, they would love to have that guy back.
Yeah,
for sure, difference maker for sure. Because I don't know what they doing this year.
And Rodgers,
okay,
terrible today.
Okay, I got. Now we're gonna switch it over. We have running backs. Okay. So again, I'm just going to say who leads the top 5 rushers right now in the league. We're going to do our 3 again.
Okay.
These are going to be the top 5 rushers in the league. Right now, it's Nick Chubb, 841 yards. Barkley is 779. Henry is 755. Damian Pierce, a rookie, is 4th with 678. And Josh Jacobs is 5th with a 676-yard season. A little resurgent year, I would say, for Jacobs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, first I want to say, Damian Pierce, he has fresh legs.
He does,
and that's so important as a running back. So I'm not going to put him in my top 3. He's
not yet. Maybe next year.
It's just the legs of a running back are so important. So when they're a rookie, they can just have the greatest seasons. But when they're doing great in year 5, that's when you know, okay, this guy
Yeah.
is legit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go automatically Derrick Henry number one.
Henry.
He slowed down a little, but he's still that guy. That he's that guy you don't want to tackle. You don't want to be in front of him if he's running through the hole. You don't want to be there. And then I think I'm going to go Saquon Barkley. And the reason I'm going to Saquon Barkley is again legs. He's been injured, and to come back and do this, he's that guy. Like if he was not injured, I think he would be my number one over Derrick Henry. But since he
wait, who's your number two again?
Saquon Barkley.
Oh, Barkley. Okay.
I love Saquon Barkley because, like I said, the injuries, he's come back from injury and played the same. And then I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I like him when I see him run. I like him. Yeah, it's a surprise. I like him when I see him run. I think
he kind of remind me a little bit of myself. Like he's just physical. He's just physical hurdling guys. I mean,
the guy in the wheelchair. But yeah, I think he's having a great season. I hope he keeps it up. He's one of the great things about that Raiders team. I don't know if there's too many, but he's one of them.
Okay.
So my list looked quite the same. Derrick Henry, even though I'm not a big Titans fan, but Derrick Henry, I like runners. Him and Saquon, I like when they initiate contact. Like I love to see them run. They run so hard, like it don't. Yeah. Like it's just like they know how to hit the hole. They can, they can run outside plays. So it's just like I love. So my 1 and 2 is gonna be Henry and Saquon, and then my number 3. I hate to say it, but Nick Chubb for sure.
Yes. Raven killer right there.
Even though he kills us every time he play us, but I mean, it's just like he's definitely I love him as a running back. But shout out J.K. Dobbins and Gus the Bus.
Hey, come on.
And they out on injury right now, but just know, shout out. They could have had a good season, man.
Yeah,
had a good season.
Was that the third?
Huh?
Nick Chubb was Nick Chubb your third?
Yeah,
I do want to explain myself, fans. I love Nick Chubb. However, I don't think it's sustainable. Like Ezekiel Elliott, they're just too. They're too.
Yeah, physical guys.
Yeah, they're too physical. Yeah. I think maybe another year or two, and then he's on Ezekiel Elliott's level, like how he is now.
I mean, I can see that. I could definitely see that. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna say for this year, I have it. Chubb actually is my number 1 guy this year. And to be honest, I think he's been my number 1 guy since last year. They get a good season. He like Neil, kind of what Neil was saying. He's a little injury prone. Like at the end of the day, it's hard to just keep trucking guys. Like Derrick Henry's the only guy. He literally has a body for that. He's like 240 pounds, but he's running back. Like last year, Chubb played 14 games. The year before that, 12 games. So like he's only had one season where he's had 298 rushes, never had 300-yard rushing season, which I guess actually is going to be better for his long-term success. But for the time being, it's a little tough. But I think he's been the best. Like he's averaging 5.6 yards a carry and leads the league in rushing. Like that's tough. My second though is still Henry. Like he's just still amazing. Like it's hard to get him on the ground. I don't think any running back in the league like can just get 35 carries a game and just be like not like literally die on the side of the road. So like somehow his tire hasn't blown. I think it's gonna happen one of these games because I just don't like he's getting 30 times the last 2 weeks he's touched the ball. Like that has to be unsustainable. He has a great body. Well, okay, well. He has an in shape body. I don't want that to be clipped. He has an in shape body. He has an in shape body. But it's just like, yeah, he's taking too much physical damage. And the third one was actually a little tough. I think I'm gonna go with Barkley. I think he deserves that this year. If Jonathan Taylor was healthy, it's probably Taylor, but
yeah, for sure.
He's hurt for this season, so I'm gonna have to go Barkley. Barkley actually, because Barkley's also receiving the ball really well too. Like more than the other guys. The other guys just don't catch the ball though. Barkley is like the full package. So Barkley has an argument to be the best running back this year. I think the Giants are going to fall off a little bit. He's been good, and he is in a contract year. So, get your money, black man.
Sure.
All right, now we are going to change topics. We are going to bring on another guest. We're going to talk a little Washington Wizards for the Wizards fans. We're going to start with the Wizards at least. We're going to move on very quickly. We're going to start with the Wizards on here.
They just lost, right?
The Wizards did lose the game today.
They lost like the Commanders, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep the energy positive, please. I didn't hear anybody.
It was amazing on coming on here.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said your audio was like sounding good. It sounded like Chris, like loud on here.
Yeah, I got my Wizards post game interview on. We talking about things we did good and things we didn't do too good. So when you a positive team, you gotta talk about things that went well. So
I feel you.
Well, so Tay, you're a Wizards fan. What is your? I just want. We're gonna start with Tay. We're going to Troy. We're going to go now about the Wizards this season. What is your expectation for the Wizards this season, and what do you see happening in the future?
I'm not really, I don't really watch too much basketball, but my expectations, we're gonna make it to the playoffs, lose the first round. I mean, that's just the type of team that we have. You feel me? I'm just being honest, just brutally honest. We just don't have like that many. We don't have no stars. Like we need some more like good players. We don't have. I mean, look what happened to Daniel Gafford. I mean, come on now. Like we just need some stars. But I think we're gonna make it to the playoffs hopefully, and then lose the first round. But I'm not really. That's my expectations. But I'm not really basketball guy. But I'm gonna let y'all tell me what y'all expectations are.
Troy, what are your Wizards expectations, and what do you see in the future?
That feels amazing for you to be a fan and say that we even go to the first round. Because after looking at this game right here, and the way that we've been playing the last couple games, it's just been terrible. Like we got this thing where we've been going the last 2-3 years where we start off so amazing the first 3 or 4 games, and then just out of nowhere, the army just starts going down. Like I don't know what's going on. Like it's like we just fall all the way apart. So it's like honestly, I don't think we'll make the playoffs the way we looking right now. It's just like season after season, we get a little excited. We get all our hopes up for these guys that we draft. We haven't made a good selection in the draft since I think 2016. Was that Kelly Oubre? that is almost like 8 years now.
2016. We still in high school.
So I mean, like it's literally like a stat line showing on Twitter just now of everybody that we've got from 2018, starting with Troy Brown Jr. Nobody has averaged over 300 over 300 from the three-point line. So it's just like in a 3-point era with Steph Curry era, why are we not getting shooters? So it's just like it's going to stay like that until we improve. I mean, look at the Grizzlies, perfect example of a team that we just played today.
Young team can play.
Can play. All the players that they had
trash 2 years ago. Like it's all it takes is for you to suck for a year or two. You get yourself a little Ja Morant and this player or that player, you can be back. The point of the Wizards, we never suck too bad. Like we're always like slightly mediocre, like never is bad enough. So that's been coming to Wizards. So now as a more of a players fan, I would say, if for somebody looking on the outside of Wizards, like would you even be able to name 4 players on the team currently? But now you're muted.
Muted, shawty.
I'm gonna start by saying this. Let's just say you said I'm a Players fan, right?
Yes.
As a Players fan, there's not one player on that team where I'm like, oh, he's amazing. So I feel like that's the Wizards' problem. My expectations for the Wizards are what they were coming into the season. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to do good this season. They still won't have a good pick because they're going to do just enough to not get a good pick. And I feel like that's just been their motto for like the past 10 years. Like they're not good.
Okay, so now I do have another basketball thing I want to put in the chat. So we're gonna do it's like similar to the football one we did, but it's a little bit basketball. I'm gonna put it in the banner. We're gonna have Devin Booker, John Morant. You're the GM of your team. You need one of these guys. Which player are you going with? I can start this one. At one point, like last week is in one point. I said Booker, but I do think Ja is probably a better player to build around because of the passing aspect too. Like Ja is going to be able to pass the ball and he can dunk. Right now, his 3-point shot, he's shooting like 50% from the three. We know that's not going to last for a season, but at least shows he can at least shoot like what 35-ish% when he regresses to me. I like Ja. If I'm the GM, let's say the Washington Wizards, if we can get a player of this caliber, I was like, okay, we're going for John Morant because he's going to bring not only the scoring ability but the passing ability. What do y'all think?
Passing, scoring, and the energy, just the overall energy of the team. I would definitely.
Yeah, he's bringing all that.
I would definitely build around Ja. But I mean, no offense to Devin Booker. I mean, they both hell of a players. But I'll build around Ja if I was a GM.
I'm gonna go Ja Morant. Only because I love the ability to drive, and if it's not there, kick back. Devin Booker, I love his shooting ability, but sometimes it's not. It doesn't matter sometimes. Like sometimes
He did
he
be
can score
heisting a little
30.
bit. He's definitely a little like I'm gonna take every shot guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sometimes I feel like Devin Booker can score 30 and they can still lose by 10. And that's just how it is. But I feel like Ja Morant, he can put up 35 and they're winning that game. The only time that it didn't happen was against the Warriors in the playoffs. But other than that, Ja Morant is a player who spreads the energy. When he scores 30, you have Bane, he might have a 30 with him.
Yeah.
It's just always the energy shifts. I feel like Devin Booker just doesn't have that ability to change the emotion on the court. So
Thanks.
I'm gonna go with Ja Morant.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Ja. And at first I was thinking Devin Booker, but that like when Nail said that energy, man, it means something because you gotta get the rest of your team involved. I'm pretty sure if you put Ja Morant on the Suns, he's gonna bring the best version of DeAndre Ayton out that you never seen. He's gonna make him a monster.
Yeah, he's gonna probably he's
He'll
dumping the
make
ball
him.
down easy.
So I'm gonna go Ja, and the only reason I wouldn't go Ja, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking about players like D Rose and John Wall. Like I'm talking about crazy athleticism.
Jesus
Is this
Christ.
guy gonna get hurt? But if you manage him the right way, you take him out when he needs to be taken out. You don't overdo him. Then you got you a reliable guy that's a threat all around, and you can only get better with shooting. So
Yeah.
you can make him an all around player on your franchise in a few years. So that's the guy for sure.
All right, I got two more basketballs. We're gonna do two more. We're gonna do like 2 or 3 more footballs. Then we're gonna end the live stream. So okay, for my next basketball, we got this. I'm gonna start this one. Who's the best player in the NBA? I'm gonna start. I think is at least for the last 2 years. I think it has to be Giannis. Jokic does have the 2-time MVPs though. So if or Jokic or Curry or probably somebody else I'm missing, they do have an argument. I think it's just Giannis right now. He's the only undefeated team without Chris Middleton. He's probably the best defensive player as well. He's averaging over 30 points per game on the offensive end. His mid range is like it's getting better. And I just think I like Boston. That Boston has a chance to go back to the finals, but they're gonna have to go through Giannis. That's gonna be he's gonna be a tough player to have to beat in the playoffs. Like there's no way. Like he's like Shaq, but like a little, like in a different format, but a similar way of dominance in the paint. So I'm excited to see what he can do in the playoffs when Middleton comes back this year.
I'm going Giannis too. He reminds me of myself. Just being honest. Like in the paint, aggression. I'm just telling you, like he reminds me like defense, everything. Carrying a team, he's definitely I'm trying to tell you, like
hey.
I was thinking the Kimbe Mutombo though.
Giannis, for real though, like aggression in the paint, like Like his
Yeah.
free throws getting better. I mean, just leading his team, a leader on this team, just everything. And then it's like, who can stop him? Nobody. Nobody can stop him. Like I've never seen like a player like nobody can stop.
Yeah, they're gonna have to like double stack the paint with like 3 guys, and other guys is going
Do
to have
that.
to miss
Still
threes.
getting past. He's still getting to the rim.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. Like, it's no answer for Giannis. Like right now, he's definitely taking over. So I'm going Giannis for sure.
Yeah, you guys know my favorite player is Steph Curry, but I,
Curry, I mean Curry got he got
I think
a
I'm
little
going to
argument
go
there.
Jokic. I think I'm going to go Jokic. I love the way Jokic plays. Giannis is aggressive. He's dominant, but I feel like he doesn't have that finesse that Jokic has, where he could pass, he can dunk, he can shoot. He's the all around center, and Giannis is great, but he's just not that yet. Like he's not the all around guy.
Like
Like
skilled. He's not as skilled
he's
as
not
Jokic.
the guy.
That's what
He's a drive it down and dunk it. Like I know some people on Instagram used to just call him run and dunk.
30 points though.
It's 30 points, but I feel like I would rather watch Jokic finesse. I love the poise and the finesse of Jokic.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go Giannis. I mean, in my opinion, you put Jokic on another team, or you put him around some different players. I might have would have said Jokic, but in my opinion, you can't be the best player in the league if you're like not top 5 defensively. If you're not a top 5 defensive player. Unless you're like a Steph Curry, where you're like, okay, your offense is just like legendary. Like you're like when Steph Curry, when he was the first unanimous MVP, like no question, we don't even care who else is running. But I'm gonna Giannis. He got a chip with his team. A better story. He has that energy, like we were talking about with John Morant, and and then let's not forget. I mean, this guy could have won another championship if things went differently last year. So in my opinion, he's the best right now.
All right. We got 2 football topics, and I have one more just end of the thing topic. So we got I wanted to because I know I had Tay on here, and it's a lot of people like Burrow too. So I just wanted to Tay just who would you want? You have Lamar Jackson on one end, and you have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was in the Super Bowl last year. Lamar is the MVP. We got what? we got a lot of both really good players, man. So just say who would you want to start your team with?
Well, I'm going with Lamar because I'm a Baltimore fan, right? I like the dual threat, quarterback stuff like that. I love Lamar, so I'm gonna definitely go with Lamar. Now, Joe Burrow, definitely great quarterback, great arm, can definitely put the ball where it need to be at. Lamar sometimes, can be, inaccurate sometimes, stuff like that. But I'm going with Lamar. I just feel like Lamar is better to watch personally.
This might surprise you, but I'm gonna go Lamar too.
Okay.
I usually hate on the Ravens just because this guy hates on the Cowboys, but I'm gonna go Lamar just because of that. Like you said, that dual threat. And I don't know if I haven't seen Joe Burrow without receivers yet. Lamar, I've seen him without receivers. He's always had Mark Andrews, but I've seen him without.
That's good.
I've seen Lamar without wide receivers. I feel like I'm kind of seeing it now. Bateman is okay. Duvernay, okay, but I feel like he's doing it. Like he can throw, he can run, and it doesn't have to be a top 5 guy that he's throwing to.
Yeah, Troy, you want to go? You want me to go?
I'm not sure, man. I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna just go ahead and go Lamar, man.
Yeah, I see. I'm going to be the only guy that takes Burrow here. I like Burrow. He's one of my favorite players. I think he's really good. Now, Neil does have a point. We've never seen him, I guess, with like no receivers. like even going back to college. But yeah, because I mean, I guess I think Lamar is similar. It's like a lot like more of a Cam Newton, and even like in basketball, you have like Russ Westbrook and James Harden, where they can make like an absolute trash can. They can drag a bag of chips to the playoffs. Like, but even with going back with James Harden and Westbrook, we did see that can cap off in the playoffs. If you don't have the players, or like you have too much of a workload, you're gonna get worn down.
But is
With Burrow, we've seen him definitely captain the team for sure. We haven't necessarily seen him have to like drag a team to the playoffs because the teams have been, I would say, pretty good overall. I like the way he plays the game. I think he's a leader. I think he's pretty crazy because the way he stands in the pocket, the line is absolutely atrocious.
Is that a Lamar problem or a Ravens problem? That he has to drag that bag of chips, and then in the playoffs.
Well, it's definitely a Ravens problem. The Ravens should have got him a receiver by. I mean, he should have had a receiver by now. I mean, Duvernay is your number one guy. He's really a 3 on like a good team.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's definitely a Ravens problem. I'm scared that Lamar's going to end up like Vic, where like you're not gonna get your receiver to like 30, and in that point, your athleticism is gonna be a little worn down. Now, Lamar is young. I'm not even sure if he's even 24 years old yet. He came in the league really young. He probably is 24. He's really young, so he does have time. But the Ravens, unless they're going to franchise him after this year, it's like they're not really like showing like they care about his body much. They still, a lot of design runs, even though Lamar's been trying to not do that this year since it's a contract year. And it's like it's just tough because even though dual threat quarterbacks are, that's the NFL now. You kind of got to be dual threat, and Burrow isn't. I think he's mobile in the pocket enough where it doesn't matter. Like he's not necessarily like a statue. Like him and Herbert are mobile, but like you can't just like sack them because they're going to be in the same spot the whole game. So I just think Burrow has a higher like ceiling. He could take a team to a higher ceiling. I just think Lamar just significantly improves your floor. Like your worst case scenario with Lamar Jackson, probably a 9-win team. Like if he plays every game, you're probably going to automatically win 9 games. We just have to see if when Lamar does get his good team, can that team get to a championship level game? Because we have seen Burrow do it not only in college, even though that team was absolutely stacked. And then the Bengals last year, who I would say was a slight surprise in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like you said, we need better receivers. I mean, I don't know what they thought Deshaun Jackson was going to do.
Oh, his hamstring is shot. It's tuna.
Giving people opportunities when it's the end of their career, like that's the problem. I don't know.
Y'all took a Commanders move right there. That's what y'all did.
That was a Tampa Bay move.
Whoa. Yeah, Tampa Bay got about 8 guys.
Tampa Bay is like a graveyard for NFL careers. Everyone just goes there to retire.
Yeah, because look at Julio.
His hamstring is, as I said, tuna fish. Like it's that soft. Like he's done. Like it's that. If he makes the wrong move, his hamstring is done. Julio's played 3 games this year? 2.
He was on the ground for like 45 seconds. I'm like, God, man. I'm like, get up, dog.
Now, if Giselle married Julio Jones, now I'd get her leaving him because you need to get out of here, sir. Your time to go is past.
I know you guys have been to Turkey Leg Hut in Houston with the meat just.
Oh yeah, that's him. Cyrus Smith.
That's their baddies.
Like, all right, okay. I got one more football one. We got again a random non-sports one at the end. Okay, we got who do y'all want? You have Mahomes. We have Allen. These I would say the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. I think pretty there's I don't think anybody is like going against the grain in that one. But it's a preference thing. You want Allen or do you want Mahomes? Anybody can start.
I'm going Dak. I'm just kidding. Hey, nah. I feel like this is a hard question because you have Allen who's a crazy runner, but he can also throw the ball the distance of the field. But then you have Mahomes, who's just like he's so precise and he does trick plays. And I'm gonna go with Mahomes though, just because he's won that matchup more times than Allen has. I can't really take anything away from Allen, but Mahomes is just
Mahomes is him too.
I feel like he's better.
Tay?
I'm going with Mahomes. He keeps everything simple. Like even his sidearms just be like just so calm. Like I don't know. Like he's just so simple and he just gets the job done. Arm strength is amazing. As you can see, just like you said earlier, Tyreek Hill wasn't like, oh, Tyreek Hill made him great or something like that.
Yeah, he was already good. Yeah,
He's already good, and he's continuing to be good. Like looking at the game right now, like the throws he's making to
yeah.
like, I don't even know who number 84 is on the Chiefs right now, but like just the throws he making is just like it's just crazy. So I'm going with Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just agree with the Mahomes. I think Mahomes is just stamped. Like Allen's been great the last like 2 years. Mahomes is just like I don't know. Like he just I think Allen is definitely he just keep closing the gap. I just feel like I see like less bad Mahomes games than Allen. Like their peak is pretty similar, like how good they can be. But I feel like again, like he, like even today against the Jets, like that was just like Allen is essentially the reason why they lost the game. I mean, does the game really matter? Like no, they're still gonna make the playoffs and everything. But like overall, it's like you lost, and the Jets are a good team, but it was like two lost fumbles, two picks, one was a red zone interception. Not that every quarterback doesn't do that, but like to say that okay, the reason why we lost this game is me, and he took 100% credit, which is something Aaron Rodgers has yet to do in his career. But regardless, it happens every once in a while. And Troy, what do you think? And then we're gonna move on to our last topic.
Surprisingly, I think I'll go Josh Allen. I feel like as great as Mahomes is, I can't pull anything out and be like, oh, okay, this is bad about him because he has a really nice and flawed game. But if like for Allen to be in the conversation as Mahomes, and these guys are top two, and Allen still has more to prove. He's not a champion yet. Um, he hasn't really took his team to that
Yeah, no
level.
MVPs yet.
Yeah, so for him to already be here, I feel like that the potential for his growth is still there, and he can in the future wise he can be over Mahomes if he keeps going where the level that he's playing on. So I think I'm gonna go Allen. Like it's just a feeling. Sometimes it may not be all the way there with the stats, but you just feel like a player is you just feel who you feel towards. I think Allen for me.
And then Mr. Blaze said he's going with guy to go Mahomes. He said he's a winner. That's his guy.
No,
I
we need
mean,
Mr.
Can
Blaze
we
that's
on
PJ
here next
Walker
week.
for him, right?
We
can we
need
get
Mr. Blaze
on here?
on here next week.
He's not in the studio. I would love to add him if he was in
Can
the
we
studio,
get
but sadly he's not in the studio. He's watching the show at least. He is a viewer.
Keep on Blaze.
first for him? I need him on here. You got to get him on here. You got to get him on here.
He said he would be on here maybe next week. We're gonna do this is gonna be a Sunday Monday type of thing. We're gonna keep doing this episode with a lot of guests. But again, this is our last topic, and we're gonna end it because we're getting close to the hour mark. All right, this is again no sports. I thought this would be a fun last topic. We have best album of all time.
I'm gonna let y'all
Hip
go.
hop album, of course. I mean, I don't want anybody giving you the Renaissance from Beyonce or anything, but we're gonna do best hip hop album of all time or rap, whatever you categorize it as.
Let's start with you, Ron.
Mine. I think I have two. I'm gonna go with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I had the Carter 3 as my second choice, but My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West is my favorite album of all time, and it's personally I think the best like produced and like written rap album ever. So I'm gonna go My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's my personal favorite. I think it's the best written and produced album of all time.
I'm gonna let them go ahead and keep looking up what they looking up right now to try and figure out what they picking. I feel like questions like this though, you can't answer one because as you can see, you didn't answer one, and then on top of that, it's just like it's such a hard question. So I'm gonna answer this. I'm gonna go from eras. I'm gonna do it how Kobe did. When people ask him who's the greatest, he names different people from different eras. So in the 90s, Ready to Die. It's no question. There's no question that Ready to Die, as big as Tupac was, Biggie's Ready to Die, that was the hottest album of the 90s. I don't care. Up there with Illmatic, Nas.
Yeah, nah.
To the 2000s, you got Carter 3. That's up there.
Yeah.
Carter 3. And I'm going to throw the Jay-Z Blueprints in there. I'm not sure which one because they all pretty good, but
yeah, probably. Yeah.
You might argue maybe that 2 was the best. I'm also throw I look at it differently. I'm gonna throw Kanye West Graduation out there. That's like in the 2005 range, and then also one last one, 50 Cent. I don't know what album that was
Oh, Get Rich or Die Trying.
with the shirt off. You just can't put Carter 3. You got to put Carter 3 to Kid Rich or Die Trying in that 2000 era right there. And then in the recent years, I'm going Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly, no
Oh
question.
wow.
Yeah, that was a beautiful album. Honorable mention J. Cole 2014 Hills Drive. Come on now. That was a huge album. And then I can't really talk about the last 2 or 3 years and stuff like that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you last like 2 or 3 years. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
yeah, I'll give my last 2 or 3 years after everybody else goes.
Yeah.
All right, is Nell or tell you once next?
Go ahead.
I'm not really big on Kanye, but y'all can have that one. I'm gonna go with Lil Wayne, Carter 3, easily, and I can even argue Carter 4. But
Oh wow.
yeah, but I'm definitely not going with any Kanye album.
Well, damn.
And it's not because of the recent anti-Semitic BS that's going on. I promise
He's
you it's
even been
not that.
canceled. He's
I
even been
promise you
canceled
it's
by
not
now.
that. I'm a big fan of rap that makes you jam. Like I'm not a big fan of other types of rap where they're just like,
Sonic music, sonically. You know,
yeah,
like
it's
sonically,
not.
you don't care about that.
Yeah, it's a different vibe than the music I listen to. So I'm definitely gonna go with the Carter 3 um, instead of my beautiful twisted dark fantasy or whatever y'all
Yeah.
said.
Right.
Well, me personally, I'm not a I'm not really a big music type of person, so I really don't have like a best
What's
album.
your favorite? If you could say what's your favorite, like me
Yeah.
personally,
I don't
I can
really
go back 5 years. I'm like, what was the best of small? Like, it's a genre I like to listen to the most.
like I don't even know. Like I don't really have one, to be honest. Like I listen to all types of music, so I don't really have a greatest album of all time. But you know I am a Lil Wayne fan. I listen to some Kendrick. Kanye is definitely Jay-Z, stuff like that. But I can't really name a best album of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say two in the last 2 or 3 years. Probably my favorite two is probably like the Roddy Rich, the one with the black and white cover. I think that's probably
Oh,
up
you
there.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that and the Young Boy, the AI Young Boy 2 is probably like I can still play the full album and still enjoy every song on AI Young Boy 2. So in the last besides like like this year, but like going back to the last 3-ish years combined, I think the Roddy Rich one that might go down as a classic album. And sadly, it might be his last, but I think that go down as a classic album.
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, I mean, again, I appreciate everyone for coming for sure. We're going to try to do this at least once or twice a week, every week on the franchise mode. Again, I appreciate you all for coming on. We got some other stuff in the works on the franchise mode with the lives, but we wanted to give you all this. Is our first one. It's gonna be on YouTube at Ron Jr., our Twitch, Ron Harrod Jr., and Twitter at Ron Harrod Jr. Peace.
So we doing Mondays too?
Yeah, we might be doing Sundays, Mondays. We'll just see like based on like schedules and everything. Try to do both per week, but at least one of those days I feel like should work for at least multiple people. So,
All right. Go Baltimore.